The door behind me locks with a sound like a bone snapping, and I know there is no going back now. My name is Ilara Finch, and I am standing inside a pit that smells of rust and old fear. Above me, thousands of eyes watch from a curved gallery of glass and metal, aliens of every shape leaning forward in their seats, waiting for the show to begin. Somewhere in that crowd, a broadcast drone hovers, sending my final moments to 100 worlds. They want to see a human break. I was told I would die here 3 days ago, when the tribunal of the Dravith Assembly decided that my presence on their trade station counted as an insult to their laws. I did not steal anything. I did not attack anyone. I simply refused to kneel when their governor walked past, because on Earth, we do not kneel to strangers. That refusal was enough. They called it defiance. They called it a crime worth feeding to the Koth. The Koth is not an animal in the way we understand animals. It is closer to a legend that happens to breathe. Thick armored hide, 4 eyes set in a skull, built like a battering ram, claws long enough to open a starship hull. In 400 years of this arena's history, nothing has ever walked out of that pit alive, except the beast itself. I know this because the guards told me, almost gently, as if warning me might make my death easier to accept. It does not. The gate on the far side of the pit begins to rise, grinding against stone worn smooth by centuries of blood that was not mine. Not yet. I hear it before I see it, a low breath that shakes dust from the walls. Then it steps into the light, and for one heartbeat, my mind goes completely empty. It is bigger than I imagined. Its shoulders alone are wider than the transport pod that brought me here. Old scars crisscross its hide, pale lines left by weapons that clearly did nothing to stop it. Its 4 eyes fix on me, and I feel the weight of that attention like a hand pressing against my chest. The crowd above goes quiet, waiting for me to run. I do not run. I am not being brave. I have simply learned, over 26 years of living on a planet full of storms, wildfires, and animals with their own claws and teeth, that running from something bigger than you rarely works. My grandmother used to say that fear is a smell, and predators can taste it on the wind. She grew up on a ranch in a country called Kenya, where lions sometimes came close enough to see their breath. She taught me that the worst thing you can do in front of something dangerous is turn your back. So instead, I plant my feet. The Koth tilts its head. This confuses it. I can see the confusion ripple across its features, because every creature that has ever stood where I am standing did exactly what prey does. They bolted, they screamed. They gave the beast a moving target to chase, and a story to end quickly. I am giving it nothing of the kind. It takes a step forward, testing me, claws scraping against stone. I do not move. My heart is slamming against my ribs so hard I can feel it in my throat, but my legs stay locked in place. My eyes stay fixed on its 4 burning ones. I remember another thing my grandmother told me. She said that when a predator meets something that refuses to behave like food, it has to stop and ask itself a question it rarely asks. What is this? The beast stops 3 body lengths away and lets out a sound that rattles through the pit floor, something between a growl and a question. I answer it the only way I know how. I raise my chin and stare directly into its eyes, refusing to blink, refusing to shrink. Above us, I can hear murmurs rippling through the gallery. They came for a quick and brutal spectacle, something to remind everyone watching that humans are new to this galaxy and small in it. Instead, they are getting silence, and silence is not what they paid for. The Koth circles me slowly, and I turn with it, keeping my shoulders square, keeping my eyes locked on its face. Every instinct in my body is screaming at me to curl up, to protect myself, to make myself small. I ignore all of it. I have seen footage of wolves before, of wild dogs, of every clever predator on Earth that backs down the moment its target stands its ground and holds eye contact. I am betting my life that whatever this creature is, somewhere underneath 4 centuries of captivity, that same old instinct still lives. It lunges. Not at me, not fully, but close enough that its breath rolls over me hot and sour. Close enough that I feel the wind of its claws swiping just past my shoulder. I do not flinch back. I do not fall. I hold my ground, and, without thinking, without any real plan beyond raw stubbornness, I step toward it instead of away. The gallery erupts into noise. I do not understand most of the words being shouted down at me in a dozen different languages, but I understand the tone. Disbelief. The Koth freezes. I am close enough now to see the scars along its jaw, close enough to see that its 4 eyes are not simply predator eyes, they are old eyes, tired in a way I recognize from my own reflection some mornings. This thing has been fighting for longer than my entire species has known this part of the galaxy exists. It has never once been allowed to walk away from a fight. It has only ever been fed things that scream and run. I do not scream. I do not run. Slowly, keeping every motion careful and deliberate, I lower myself to one knee, not in surrender, but the way you would approach a wounded animal you did not want to spook. I keep my palm open and facing it, low to the ground, the same gesture I have used with frightened dogs and startled horses my whole life. The beast lowers its massive head until it is level with mine, and for a long moment, neither of us moves. Somewhere above, a voice on the announcer's channel stumbles over its words, unable to explain what the audience is seeing. I do not blame them. I am not entirely sure what I am doing either. Then the Koth does something no record in 400 years describes. It sits back on its haunches, the way an old dog might when it finally allows itself to rest, and it lets out a long, low sound that is nothing like the roar it gave when it entered. It sounds almost like relief. I stay kneeling there for a long moment, my hand still raised, my whole body trembling now that the danger has passed enough for feeling to return. Slowly, so slowly, I reach out and press my palm flat against the side of its jaw. The hide is rough and warm, and beneath it, I can feel the beast's pulse slowing, matching the rhythm of my own breathing. The arena has gone completely silent. Not one voice, not one whisper. Thousands of beings who came to watch a human die are instead watching something they have no word for. Guards rush toward the gate controls, panicked, unsure whether to open the pit or seal it further. I do not wait for their decision. I rise to my feet, keeping my hand resting against the Koth's massive head, and I begin walking toward the gate myself. The beast rises with me, matching my pace, staying close the way an animal stays close to something it has decided, for reasons only it understands, that it will not harm. The gate operators freeze at the sight of us approaching together. Nobody has ever asked them what to do when the prisoner and the beast walk out side by side. As the gate grinds open, I look back once at the crowd. Rows of alien faces stare down at me, some in horror, some in something that might be closer to respect, all of them silent in a way that tells me they will be replaying this moment for a very long time. I do not shout a victory cry. I do not raise a fist. I simply nod once, the way you would after finishing a hard day's work, and I step through the gate with the deadliest creature in the galaxy, walking calmly at my side. Later, after the tribunal reconvenes in confusion, after the recordings spread across every relay station in Concord space, faster than anyone can stop them, I hear the same question repeated by official after official, translator after translator, each one struggling to make sense of it in their own language. How did a single unarmed human survive the Cath when nothing else ever has? I do not have a clever answer for them. The truth is simple, even if it does not sound impressive enough for the history they wanted to write. I did not fight harder than every creature that came before me. I did not run faster or hide better. I simply refused to become what they expected me to become. I stood still when everything in me wanted to flee, and in that stillness, the beast found something it had never been offered in 400 years of captivity. Not a meal, not an enemy, just another living thing that refused to be afraid of it. The governor who sentenced me does not speak to me again. He does not need to. The broadcast has already done more talking than either of us ever could, spreading across star systems that once believed humans were the weakest species to ever join their table. They are not calling me weak anymore. They are not calling any of us weak anymore. And somewhere beneath the arena, in a pen built to hold the most feared creature in Concord history, a guard reports something strange in his shift log. For the first time in 4 centuries, the Koth is not pacing. It is not restless. It is simply lying still, calm, facing the direction I was taken, waiting. Waiting the way something waits for a friend to come back.